All right, this is a video, right, where I think because this is a video where they're talking about guys showing emotions. I think it would be a nice segue because I saw this TikTok video that I want to talk about because I think it's interesting. So, but I think this video will make a nice segue to that video.
Emotions, it's healthy.
Oh yeah, Brandon might have some really good points on this. I think some I've heard it discussed that like girls don't like it when guys cry or anything like that.
Yeah, they don't.
I think it shows.
They don't.
I think it shows like that you're in a healthy place because some things there are like are.
If I just started
sad.
crying right now, like, I know you probably. What the fuck? I did not mean to press that. Sorry.
That's how you
if
cry.
I just started crying, you're probably like, because of the conversation we were having, you know. It's probably,
Yeah. You want to know what I would think? I would think he's really stressed out. Maybe his neck hurts because I know you have a reoccurring.
Yeah,
neck
I got some
problem.
neck.
Yeah,
chronic neck
you should come to
pain.
my church. You might get healing for it.
What?
We do healings. Yeah,
Uh-oh.
yeah.
I'm sorry, but I'm a man of God, but that's not how that works.
Okay. All right.
You don't have faith.
No, it's just like if I don't. Okay, whatever. I'm not gonna get into that, but
I think that men should not show all of their emotions to women, because women judge men very harshly on that. I would never cry in front of my wife.
Really?
I just wouldn't.
What if your kid died?
That's a different thing. I mean, I would try not to cry in front of my wife if my
To
kid
be
died.
like
Hugger.
the support.
No, yeah, I'm her foundation. I'm her strong point. I'll cry on my own, but if everything is going south, I want my wife to know I'm strong in that situation, and I can be. I don't have to cry. I can do that on another time. My wife is expecting me to be strong in these times. I thought about this. So I heard a guy say this: is that when my father passes away, which everybody's parent is going to pass away, I'm not going to cry at his funeral. I don't want to cry in his funeral. I want my father to know that I'm strong enough to stand up and have this conversation. I've compartmentalized what has happened. I can do that on another time. At my father's funeral, I'm gonna stand up and be strong for everybody in the building, and that's not a bad thing to do. You know, I don't want my wife to be afraid. Just say something tragic happened.
So you don't think
She looks
so what
to
do you
me
think,
to be the stable person. Go ahead.
What do you think about men thinking that women's emotion not matter?
Women's emotions don't matter.
Don't matter. Yeah, I've heard it.
Look at this, right? So talking about what they were just talking about is that I necessarily think that in a perfect world, men should and could show their emotions to women. But the sad thing is that men shouldn't, because it's not perfect. Women view men in a certain way, and then when you change that view of women, she will think less of you. You show you show vulnerability to a woman, there's a high likelihood that they could use that against you. You think about this, right? One of the weapons, tactics of women is that, right? Using emotional manipulation, using emotional tactics, right? Because they're not necessarily physical. So they're not going to hurt you physically, but if you give them a chance, they will hurt you emotionally. And for men, some men rather get punched than get hurt emotionally, because, you know, a lot of times emotional scars don't heal up as quickly or as well as physical scars. And, you know, that I think that's damaging for men a lot of times. Because I believe, right, a lot of times men don't have it easy controlling emotions. Out of the two genders, right, men are forced to control their emotions because of society, right? You're forced to show it because, again, men have the propensity, right, the ability to show violence, okay? So a society does not allow men to really show emotions. Because they view men as, you know, violent creatures. So, you know, because like women can show emotion and they can be violent, but society don't view that as a bad thing. Okay? Because how many times you've seen those social experiments, right, where a woman is bullying a man, nobody cares, right? Nobody cares when a woman physically bullies a man. Nobody will come to that man's rescue. But let's flip that in reverse. If a man physically bullies or harms a woman, so many people will come to that woman's rescue. So, that's the difference. That's the difference, that is between men and women, and that's what society has done, right? That's what society, dictates for men, right? You're not allowed to be in your emotions because you're dangerous. It is what it is.
Men say that?
Yeah, I've heard.
I mean, what do you mean? Like, if you make an emotional decision, a man shouldn't acquiesce to your
like
emotional decisions?
you say,
or?
"Oh, I feel this way." Oh, it doesn't matter how you feel.
It does matter. I mean, women's instincts to have emotions is one of the greatest things that humanity can have. That's why you need both. You need somebody who's stable, logical, and you also need the emotional component. That's why God made Adam and Eve. That's why when you're married, the best situation for children is a mother and father. You do need the emotional component. Women have instincts that men don't have, and that emotionalism kind of attracts that. But you have to be careful to not being too overly emotional.
So you think
Where
if
your
you cry in
emotions
front of
are
your
there.
daughter?
I wouldn't cry in front of anybody.
Because I asked.
I mean, I will try not to cry in front of anybody. There's compulsion for me to cry at times, and I will not do it in front of people.
Well, I had this moment with my dad, and it was this summer, and we were talking, and we each had like a glass of wine or whatever. But I was like sharing how it is hard being single and 29 and just feeling like you're like old and all this stuff, and yeah. And so I started crying, and he
Wait,
actually
you started crying?
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
She's crying for no reason. She has nothing to worry about. You're in a great position.
Well, okay. Well. Anyways, so thank you. But and then I was crying, and he, and then I look over, and he is crying, and he's like, he's like, look at me, I'm a 65-year-old man. You're making a 65-year-old man cry. But it was like he saw my pain and really felt my pain, because I was like, oh, he wants me to be happy, and in that, that spoke so much to me, because I was like, he cares about me so much that my
But
pain
that's
is
your
his pain.
father. I feel like if it was a boyfriend or a husband, in that, I think it's because, I mean, obviously there's a different relationship that you have with your father than.
So
I've
you
never.
think-
I haven't
would
seen my
care.
father. I saw my father cry one time, and it was at his father's funeral.
So you think if
That's
a
it.
man shows his emotion makes him a less man?
No. I just think men shouldn't do it. I don't think it make you less of a man if your emotions. Like, for instance, if something tragic happened, and I was in the room with my wife, and it caused me to start crying or something, I'm not gonna be like, throw her out of the room. You're gonna leave the room. You can't see me like this. It's just that I know when emotions happen to me, and I refrain from exposing that emotion in front of people.
You
I
have
just-
never cried from a breakup or anything like
No,
that,
not-
like
not
in front of the
Cry
Not from a breakup.
Come on.
I've never cried from a breakup. I've been upset about a breakup. I never cried over a breakup.
Wait, no.
Do you ever just
Men don't really.
Go on
Men
YouTube
don't
to
have
watch-
that emotion to
I've
cry.
had them here crying in front of
every
Yeah, that's why you're
once
not
a
with them
week,
right now.
I will
right?
watch
You
What?
cry once a
You
week.
said you had men cry in front of you. That's why you're not with them.
Sometimes I look up videos of army
Yeah.
dads coming home and surprising their
no.
kids just because I want to cry, and then I'll watch it and
You
I'll
wanna
cry,
cry?
and
I've
great.
teared up and
It's
cried over stuff
healthy
like
to
that, but
cry.
I
but not
don't.
in front
Those
of the
videos are really
I don't do
good.
that in front of people.
It's touching and wholesome, and it,
They
I don't
surprise
think
the
it's any-
kids.
it evokes something in you.
Cry.
Let me just be clear. If
think it's good.
if a man decides that that's what he wants to do in front of his woman,
Oh my god.
then that's
Well,
what
he's
they want to
really
do.
hurt.
For me,
How
you
can you
suffer.
hold
I
your
think you
tears?
suffer in silence. That's what I think. And when I say suffer in silence, I don't mean have these negative thoughts in your mind and
Yeah.
don't tell anybody. What I'm saying is that there are times where I'm emotionally stressed out about certain things, and I deal with them with my homies. I deal with them by myself. My wife does not need to be exposed to me breaking. Let me just
Wife doesn't have to be exposed.
just say that there's a, you see what's happening
Do
out
you see what's happening?
in Israel.
Do you see what's happening? Sorry,
You're
I'm,
like the
I'm trying to be your hype
You my hype man. You got to hype me better than that.
I'm sorry.
You see what's happening in
Do
Israel?
you see what's happening?
I do.
Good.
In Israel, there's a conflict, right?
Are we talking?
And I'm not going
should
to
we-
get too deep
Yeah,
into
okay,
that,
okay.
but there's a conflict, and people are having to make tough decisions. Men are going to have to step up and make tough decisions. If that happened in America, and yeah, I may feel fear. There may be some emotions that I feel. I cannot display that.
And
to
your
my wife.
looks for you for protection.
Right.
Has you for protection.
I'm the one.
So you
just
have to
just
be
imagine
the-
you going to war. You got the guy on the
Yeah.
front line and he crying.
Yeah.
You like, oh, wait a minute, dude.
you'll be
We
like-
gonna lose this? Or you
Yeah.
like my dudes? We would do SWAT hits, and some of the dudes they were tough. They were hard around the edge, man. And you don't see them sweat. And it gives everybody encouragement to be like, man, that's the baddest mother. Then that mean I need to be bad. But I will tell people, if you need.
Again, I mean, this is I just wanted to use that like as a segue to this other video that I found interesting. Is that I think in general, women don't know how to handle men's emotions, right? They don't see that as attractive. They don't understand. They just don't. They don't see men that are emotional as. It's just. Here, let me just play this video, and then you guys think about it.
Y'all, why are men so fucking weird? So this dude called me at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, hello. He like, hello. He like, what you doing? I'm like, just woke up. Like, you woke me up out of my sleep. He like, I'm sorry, my granddad just died. Immediately, I'm irritated because I don't like when people I don't like trauma dump on me. I don't really know what to say to the fact that your granddad just died. So I'm like, you okay? He like, no. I'm like, was y'all close? He like, yeah. He told me how to spell my name and everything. He like, I'm so disgruntled right now. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm sorry for your loss because I didn't want to be an asshole or whatever. He goes to say, can I come lay with you? Can you come over? I said, okay. He said, yeah, I just need somebody to take my mind off everything that's going on. Why the fuck does that have to be me?
I mean, just that, right? That is like I said, sometimes women are better off dumping their emotions, their trauma onto you. But for them to receive, right, your trauma, your emotions, a lot of women don't want to deal with that. It's just like it's a common thing, right? Women don't want to deal with men's emotions, right? Men's traumas. So that's why a lot of times, right, men have just built this inner mechanism that they just don't want to dump it onto women because, you know, it's either women don't know how to deal with men's emotions or they will pretty much turn it back onto men, right? Their emotions onto men. So that's why I say, like, it's just something that you gotta learn, right? Bonnet head isn't nurturing. No. And that's the thing, right? Let's say this, right? There are some women out there that would be great emotional support. But let's say men usually play the odds. How likely is it that you will find a woman that will be your emotional support, right? That will accept your crying, accept your trauma, your emotions. I don't think that's going to happen that often, right? I don't think that's a common thing. So in general, you're playing the odds if you think you're just going to let's cry to every woman you date, you know, and just pick the right one. It's just you're playing the odds. So men just rather not express emotion because why deal with the possible fallouts when you do that? So.
But okay, I said okay. He said, yeah, when you get here, can I kiss you from your toes to your forehead? I said, I thought you were grieving. He said, yeah, but I just really need to eat some pussy right now. What? How did this take a sharp left turn? I'm so confused. Y'all, why?
I mean, the ending is like, it's a little bit different, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe men, I mean, I know that some men, right, would love, sex will take men's mind off of things. So, two things where he may think that, okay, he's going to use sex to take his mind off of it, or he just want to have sex. So, but again, that aside, I always say that, like, because I've seen it happen so many times that women do not know how to accept men's opinions, men's thoughts, men's feelings, right? So why even try? Why even bother, right? A lot of women don't care about your traumas, your feelings, right? Your thoughts. A lot of women don't. So I'm like, why even take that chance of a woman just destroying you, basically, right? Destroying your how you feel. Here's another clip, right? Here's another good example of what I'm talking about.
Manipulation is when they blame you for your reaction.
There was a study done.
Manipulation is.
Shut the f up. That's why your dad not talking to you right now.
What?
That's why your dad not talking to you right now. You wish he was talking to you. You want your dad to talk to you, but he's not.
Bro, that's not even cool, bro. That's getting hella deep though.
You want
bro.
you want your dad to spend time with you, but you don't want to. He don't want to spend time with you.
But Brooklyn, that's not cool, bro. On God, that's weird as fuck. Put that shit. You could take on God out Uber.
He don't want to talk to you.
And you still going, bro. You a weird boy.
Shut.
You see that? You see that? What man wants to deal with that? I mean, what man wants to deal with a woman using his emotions as an attack on him? So that's why I said sometimes it's better off not to share with women, right? But you know what? That is why I like 2023, right? Where there's men, like these platforms that men have, where they can share their emotions, their thoughts and feelings with other men, right? With the community that, it's not as, I guess they don't know you, right? So it's not as personal. But there are men out there that like say that I'm here for you. I would, I don't mind listening to your views. I don't mind listening to your opinions, how you feel, what's up, and check on other men, right? So that's why I think it is a bit different nowadays, right? Where there are more men wanting to be there, right? Be some emotional support. Because I think it's better off to share your feelings with other men because at least they understand, right? They understand the situation more than women. And most of the times, in general, men wouldn't use your emotions, right, as ammo, right? They're not going to use it against you. So, yeah. But I don't know. What do you guys think?